Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Very excited for today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jason Waddell. I'm the city manager for Prior Lake. And today we get to celebrate the completion of the County Road 21 Trunk Highway 13 project. This project has been many years, in fact, decades in the making. So today is the culmination of a lot of work from a lot of people. And a lot of those people are here today. So I want to thank all of the former mayors that are here today, county commissioners, state representatives, Senator Pratt, Watershed District, our consultants at Bolton and Mink. We just have so many people that have been involved in this project, so thank you to all of you for being here. The result of all the efforts of all of you today is this project, which is truly amazing. It is truly going to be a gateway to downtown Prior Lake, and we couldn't be more proud of how it's turned out. Today we have three presenters that are going to be giving presentations. They're Scott County Commissioner Dave Beer, Prior Lake Economic Development Authority Chair Dave Cromie, and then Mayor Kurt Briggs. So following their presentations today, we will have the ribbon cutting right to my left. And then please stick around. We will have cake and refreshments after that. So with that, I will turn it over to Commissioner Dave Beer.
Okay, he mentioned presentations. I'm not sure about a presentation, but definitely a few words. I'm Dave Beer, Scott County Commissioner. And before I get started, I'm going to look behind me to this road, and I got to kind of pinch myself. I mean, we are a frog's hair away from finishing. We've got the ribbon. This has been a long time in the making. But it also feels a whole lot more than just a ribbon cutting for a road. Through the process of communications, through collaboration with the city, the county, the state, and my favorite part, a lot of community involvement. Bringing those three C's together to get this project over the finish line is a huge, huge deal. And to me, yeah, this is a lot of concrete and asphalt, but it feels like this road project really paved the way for rebuilding and sustaining relationships between the city, the county, and vice versa, and the community, which is I'm super proud about that. So that's my presentation. Thank you all for being here, and we're going to kick this thing off. I love it. Mr. Cromie.
Good morning. My name is Dave Cromie, for those of you that don't know who I am. Chair of the EDA, the Economic Development Authority here in Prior Lake. This project truly has been in the works for a long time. My daughter reminded me of that the other day when she said, "You mean they're finally done with that project?" And I looked at her and she says, "They were talking about this when I was a senior in high school." She graduated from Prior Lake High School in the year 2000. So it has been in the works for quite some time. I'm going to talk about the economic benefits of a roadway like this here, but I want to go back in time a little bit. Those of you that know me, I love to look back at history and stuff like that. Many of you may remember there was a railway that went through this way. This whole roadbed was built on a railway that was here. Back in the 1860s, there was a bit of a dispute going between Spring Lake Township, the village of Spring Lake, and the village of Prior Lake as to where the railroad should go through. It was very important at that time that communities or villages that had the railroad go through developed more commerce, were more economically advantaged and stuff because the railroad made a stop in your village or your city, whatever it was. So there was a bit of a dispute going between that. And ultimately, it came through Prior Lake. It was very important to the businesses in Prior Lake as well as surrounding farmers and stuff. Everybody brought their wares in and things like that too to take care of to use advantage of moving things around with the railroad. The railroad was finished in 1871, and almost 100 years later, 1970s, all the railroad diminished. And it was pretty much, at that point, everything was being taken over to where roadways were then the important driving factor for commerce and economic development. Just a little story, it was in the early 1990s when the railroad was taken away and the road was built. A little story, I remember it was the year 1991. The bridge had been widened to 4 lanes across the lake, and then they had to widen the road on the other side of the bridge to 4 lanes. It used to be a 2-lane road that went through there, and they opened it up to 4 lanes. And it was late October. The road was in miserable condition. They allowed traffic to continue going through it, and it was full of potholes. It was not a pleasant ride to get through it. And if you were in the auto repair business, it was great, because cars were falling apart as they drove through it. And then the Halloween blizzard of 1991 happened before they could pave the road. So if you were a county leader or a city leader at that time, your phone was ringing off the hook. Not only did you have potholes, you had ice and snow to deal with and stuff. But fortunately, the weather did clear up to where they were able to get the road paved before Thanksgiving of that year. So that was 1991. Fast forward to just a few years ago, as the design of this roadway was being finalized, many businesses were concerned about how their businesses would survive through this whole road construction. It hasn't been easy. I can verify that myself, as well as a lot of these businesses here can. We've lived it. Road construction is not kind to business. But roadways are very important to commerce and economic development. Many of us experienced that firsthand these past 2 years. With the road improvements, the current and future amenities, such as the landscaping, the mural, the positive impact on businesses is going to be just huge. It's going to be big. It will be good for the business currently, as well as attracting future business. When you take a look at the road improvements within our city, you have to go back about 5 years or so. Take the whole Highway 13 corridor from County Road 42 all the way out to 282, 150th Street. Look at that wonderful intersection that's there. County Road 42 and 13, beautiful intersection there. It was all modernized, rebuilt, and expanded to handle the traffic and stuff. And we had the Highway 13 Duluth area last year that was done, where some of that was improved. And then this year, we've got this year project happening. And as we are ready to finish and open the final phase of these road projects, I want to say thank you. Thank you on behalf of the business community, and on behalf of the Economic Development Authority of Prior Lake. I want to say thank you to the city leaders, past and present, the county leaders, past and present, and MnDOT and Bolton Mank for their efforts in making the investments into our community to give us these much-needed improved roadways. Thank you, and with that, I'll turn it over to the mayor.
Mr. Cromie, Commissioner Beer, thank you so much. Wow, big day. I, too, am going to quickly take a look back so then we can look forward to what we have. And so it was just 4 years ago, 4 short years ago, that the city and the county had just been through a difficult road project that Mr. Cromie just alluded to up at 42 and 13. It was a project that, quite honestly, divided neighbors, divided businesses, divided the city and the county around what we wanted the community to be. And it was a tough time. And it was a time also of campaigning. And there were many of us that were out there talking to businesses at the time. What should the future hold for the city of Prior Lake? And so it was in January of 2017 that we began really what had started, as we heard from Mr. Cromie, well over 20 years ago. The county submitted a grant and received approval on that grant 3 weeks after this council was sworn in. And it was that time that we knew we had some significant headwinds to go from where we were to the project that you see before you today. And before we knew we could discuss a road concept, we needed to rebuild relationships with the neighbors, relationships with our businesses, and relationships with each other. And so it was we began joint city council board meetings, many city town halls with our neighbors, many meetings with businesses. And it's to those business owners, to those neighbors, that I truly want to thank for sticking with us, because indeed, through that time, we demonstrated that the project was far much larger than simply a road, as we said, to our downtown, but rather this project has become, and what I believe it shall be remembered for, is the project that once again united us, city and county, neighbors and businesses and city and community. So with that, it is my distinct pleasure to invite folks over to this ribbon. Here we go. So, 1, 2, 3.
Get the Red Cooper out.